Video and audio are rolling.
Okay, okay.
I think I took some notes earlier this week. Oh. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
¿Qué pasó?
Boom, boom, it's rolling.
Okay.
Yeah, hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Pelican Jack Podcast. This is number 15 for us.
Number 15 or number 16?
This is number 15.
Okay, number 15.
I'm Devin Watkins.
Alex Ortiz, back at it again.
What's going on, man?
What's going on? We gotta go ahead and get this out of the way.
Yeah.
We gotta talk about the coronavirus, man.
Coronavirus. Wuhan, pow!
I don't think we talked about it last week.
Maybe not.
But I mean, it's just got to be discussed now. I know me personally. At first, I fell into the like much ado about nothing hype. As far as like it's like it's just like another flu. Old people die, whatever. But it's sticking around, and it seems to be gaining traction.
It does seem to be gaining traction. Yeah, I was with you in that camp. Just one of those like, yeah, it's gonna pass. It's gonna be one of those super flus, but
yeah,
we'll lose 20, 30,000 people and it'll be done.
But I mean, we do that like every year with the regular flu too, though.
Mm-hmm.
We lose thousands of people every year to just whatever the flu is that year as well.
Right.
But it seems like it's picking up. It seems like it might be a little bit more. Maybe not much more, but definitely enough to make a difference and be noticeable, for sure. But then we gotta discuss: is it a bad thing? Is it a bad thing?
I mean, yeah, necessarily it's a bad thing. It's
not saying that it's a good thing,
right? But are you asking really? Is there a silver lining? Are there any benefits to having this? And I think where I think you're going, where I go in my mind, I'll say, is that do we need fewer people on the planet? Sure, yeah, that'd be cool. And is this a good way to get rid of a bunch of them? Certainly. And will we get those people back right away? Probably.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if it's a good thing or not.
Maybe that's framed incorrectly. It's just like, man, like we say, we could use a few less motherfuckers around. A little bit less traffic. You're going through the city. You could cruise through the city now.
Yeah.
You'll cruise through the city now. It's not stop and go.
Maybe rent won't be so high.
But no, I mean, obviously it's a tragedy, but the joke side, like, hey, a couple less people. It's usually getting the people who already lived most of their lives anyway.
Right.
For the most part. And it actually seems to be avoiding...
It's not killing all of them.
It's avoiding young people. Like below 18 age. Like there seem to be just like not getting it. Like or being like a carrier of it but not showing any symptoms at all.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Infecting other people that are older, but like not having symptoms themselves.
Or if it's got anything to do with your tonsils.
Oh, so then now we can get into the conspiracy aspect of it. Was this designed? Is this natural?
No. Yes.
Was this
natural.
designed? They said under a microscope, it looks just like the AIDS virus. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, it could, but it isn't acting like the AIDS virus.
No, but it looks similar. Seems nature doesn't usually go that similar.
Nature usually goes pretty similar. Small mutations are the cause of genetic change.
I don't believe it.
All right.
I don't believe it.
But we can talk about the real stuff, which is the NBA and the NHL have decided to suspend their seasons.
Oh. So now even just gaining traction, but gaining traction on the effects on society.
And UFC Brazil will be performed behind closed doors.
Like there won't be an audience. It'll
They
just be
didn't
the
even
fighters.
have an audience for media day.
Wow. So like the fight, it'll still be televised and everything, but it'll just be like the fighters and the announcers, like the bare minimum of people that need the fight to happen.
Yeah, it's gonna be so creepy quiet. I wonder if they'll put crowd noise in. I hope they don't.
No, they can't. It'd be too weird.
Yeah.
It'd be too weird.
UFC Wuhan.
Wuhan. But no, yeah. What is it gonna affect trade? It's gonna start creeping up.
Stocks we finished in a bear market yesterday as of the taping of this show. Stocks tumbled again. They shut down the NYSE a couple of times this morning. Again. We're headed for another bubble anyway. Or it is a bubble rather. We're headed for a little crash or Rooney with the auto market.
Auto industry, yeah, I was just gonna say.
Fucking title pawn this and here, no bad credit, here you go.
Zero credit, no problem.
We'll just the treasury's just fucking, or the mint is.
Cars cost too much, and that's the only way to get one is to go into debt.
Yeah. I will be done paying on mine December 2022.
I mean, how many people are able to get a decent car with cash these days? How many people are able to save up that much cash with the way the economy is and how much things cost?
That's stupid.
How much housing costs and everything.
No, you've got to be like upper middle class to be able to do that. At best. I mean, at worst. Upper middle class or above.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly couldn't do that. Not in a reasonable amount of time. I could get one vehicle in maybe 10 years.
Yeah, like the one I got right now, it's like I already know.
But that whole time, my wife and I would have to walk everywhere.
Oh, yeah. You can't walk. You can't get by walking these days unless you live in a city, in like an urban.
We could spend some of that on bikes, but that isn't really, I don't know.
Look how far out you guys though.
Yeah.
You gonna ride your bike to what, Monroe?
No, I drive to Athens.
Oh, that's still how long of a bike ride? At least an hour.
Yeah, that'd be
at least an hour.
Probably an hour. Yeah.
Are you about that life?
No.
That's what I was gonna say. That shit's rough.
That'd be my whole lunch break. I get home and I'd be late for work.
You wouldn't come home for lunch break. You would have to pack your lunch.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't make that ride. You'd have to pack your lunch. Your whole shit would change up.
I gotta take care of my pups.
They have to get a bigger bladder. Get a bigger bladder, nigga. You got to go 5 more hours.
Cause I'd be
6 more hours.
10-hour days at that point.
Ooh, Jackie did
right? No, 11 hours. Cause it'd be an hour there and an hour back, and then an hour for lunch and 8 hours of work.
Jackie did it. Oh, I mean, I didn't ask her. I don't know if she liked it or not.
And then there's only 24, and I gotta spend a pretty good chunk of that sleeping. That'd be no deal.
Yeah, you would have
9's already pushing it.
You would just have to give them more designated time. Like, all right, I'm gonna spend an hour. Take turns walking y'all for 10-minute walk.
Already pushing it.
Yeah, I feel you. Alrighty. What's next?
What is next, man? What's been going on with you? I'm just about, probably by the time this one drops, my demo will be available.
Oh yeah. Let's talk more about that. So what do we got going on here?
Well, here's where I'm at. It's Thursday, March 12th.
Yeah.
And I have the mix pretty much where I want it to be on these songs. I can tell you there's 3 songs on this demo that's going to be available for free.
And where are people going to be able to find these?
You can find these on Spotify, Apple Music, pretty much wherever you get music. It's going to be up on YouTube. There'll be links to it on my Facebook page, facebook.com/music.devereaux. That's DEVEREAUX.
And if they're searching you on these other sites, would it be Devereaux also? Or you got another stage name, or is it just your name?
Instagram.com/olddeveraux. That's OLDEVEREAUX. And Twitter.com/ I believe that one's just Devereaux.
If they search you on Spotify, what if they just want to search your name? What would it be?
I'm releasing this under the moniker Devereaux.
Okay.
So that's how you can find me.
Spelling?
DEVEREAUX, Devereaux.
The French style, the Cajun style.
Yeah, Cajun style.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that's my uncle started calling me Devereaux. And I'm not exactly sure why. I think it was after a hockey player. At least I remember there being a Boyd Devereaux that used to play for the Red Wings.
Okay.
So he'd call me Devereaux. And then that kind of stuck. You guys, my group of friends, call me Devereaux.
Devereaux, or I'll just say Devo.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
Devo even. I've had people call me Devi, but...
That's... Fuck Devi. I'd be like, hey, man.
And Dev.
Devi, I'd be like, that's too feminine, dog. You can't call me Devi. Girls?
Devi Poo.
Girls might say some shit like that.
Yeah, it was girls.
Okay. But a nigga call you, what up, Devi? She'd be like, come on, my guy, chill.
Yeah, no. Guys don't call me Devi.
Yeah.
But I've got a hard deadline of tomorrow night for sending this through DistroKid and getting this up. That's going to take a couple of weeks, but
okay.
I think by the time this hits you, maybe shortly after, but shortly after the springtime, this will be available sometime in March. I'm waiting on some artwork from our buddy Rob, who was on the last podcast, or the podcast before that, rather. He's sending me pictures of it tonight. He's having some trouble transferring it because of him doing it in colored pencil. If he were to scan it, the wax would cause some issues. So, trying to see what the best way to do this all is. But we're going to get it to you. We may come up with a paid version where we can get you some bonus content, but it's going to include all the lyrics, any artwork that I've done, that's photographs, what Rob has taken pictures of, or what Rob has drawn, rather, what he will draw in the future for this. It's got, notes, and then I may do like some blog posts or something, kind of going into details of the songs themselves, but
kind of giving people like the context.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like what I would want to see from my favorite artists. So,
like the questions you have.
Yeah,
there have been like Dave Matthews songs where I found out the backstory to them, and I was much more invested in the song.
Right.
Like for instance, that song by Dave Matthews called "The Stone." Right. So what happened was, Dave Matthews' sister was murdered by her husband, and so Dave Matthews kind of writes this song about the situation, but he writes it from the perspective of the husband. So. Obviously, it goes kind of through the story and emotions and feelings, and there's a lot of change-ups and in the song. But yeah, it made the song a lot more impactful. Like just knowing how deep it actually. Like I already liked the song before,
right?
But I guess the context changed.
Now you have an emotional connection.
Yeah. It made it even. Yeah, it was just like, how do I want to say it? Like. The song was already good before. The lyrics were already intense and engaging, and the story was interesting already. Right. But then knowing the actual details of the thing behind it made it just like, wow. Like, one, it made it more real. And then two, just, holy shit. It's kind of crazy. You didn't realize that that's what it was about. So it's pretty cool. Do you have any songs like that where... obviously, you get the lyrics, and the lyrics are relatable on like a surface level, but you've got like a different level, like story behind it or influence underneath it.
I do actually, yeah. Back in 2008 or 9, this kind of sensitive subject. I don't know if like my family would really like me talking about this, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Okay. Okay.
I had a
Pelican Jack
cousin.
exclusive.
I'll keep names out of it, but I had a cousin who was with a guy, and they had a child together. And
Female cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a child.
They had a child together. Great. The child was 4. This guy was a paranoid schizophrenic, but he had not said anything about it. And they've been together for some time. I mean, the child was 4, so I would imagine somewhere around the time of 5 years at least, right? And they were doing like all sorts of crazy things. They were moving across town. They were like going to a different state because he thought they were being followed, and then he was hearing voices saying that he had to kill them to save them and stuff like that. So he ended up slitting their throats in the night.
What?
And my cousin was able to fight him off enough to like save them, but yeah, he thought the neighbors were gonna come kill them. So
like their throats got cut. They just didn't all die.
He took a razor blade and slashed their throats, and so I have a song about that.
Damn, on this new
No, it's not on the demo.
One of the older songs?
Yeah, this is an old song. Yeah, I wrote it when I heard the news.
Which one?
It's called Clara May.
Oh, have I? I don't know if I've heard that.
Maybe. I don't know.
Huh. You never performed it live with the band?
I don't think so. No.
You gonna put that out though?
Eventually.
Yeah, especially now that you give that story, people are definitely gonna want to hear the what you were able to produce from that type of raw and real and closeness to that tragedy.
Yeah, it's just like a fucking scary thing. Like you just, I had no idea. I'd met the guy before, and he was really nice, but like when you have an illness, you have to have it attended to, no matter what kind it is, you know.
And you hear about things like that, like, or you'll see it on TV, like an episode of like Snapped, or so, people doing snapping and doing crazy things. But it always seems different, separate, like distant, like not me and my family. But then when something like that happens that close, you're like, oh shit, okay, so yeah, I already knew that this type of thing does happen, but fuck, it does happen.
Yeah.
Damn.
But they're both safe. They both, she had another kid.
Nobody died?
I haven't. No, nobody died. And
she's not with him though, right?
No.
Okay.
A different guy now. And I hear she's happy and doing well. She's always been a little bit reclusive. So, I haven't really kept touch since probably almost 10 years ago now is the last time I talked to her. But I do have fond memories of her growing up, and she got me into some of the things that turned me into who I am today. So I wish her all the best, and hope she continues to do well. I hear she's doing well, so
yeah,
I'm happy for her.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Whew. Well, shit. Learned something new about you today, man.
Yeah.
Interesting. I did music as well. I don't think any of my music, anything that got produced anyway, had that type of
I don't think it's too late, man.
Meaning behind it. Oh no, definitely not too late. Definitely not.
I mean, even if you just want to do it on a hobby level.
Yeah, that's what I was. I've been thinking about that actually recently. Doing a little bit more music.
I mean, now that we're both going to be working on the same platform, and I have a bit of experience behind me, and definitely some resources. I would like to explore it, especially collaboration, like on a musical level. But even like I would be willing to help edit and produce and record and do all that kind of stuff.
I would eventually like to
teach
do
you
some skits, maybe even two. But definitely on the music front, I've had ideas and maybe not like full-throated ideas, but like there's part of me that wants to be like serious with the music, but then also a little sarcastic and even just straight up comedic with it as well. Because I like all those aspects of the music too, but I don't want to be. But now that I'm doing the comedy, I feel like it'll be easier for me to be a lot more free in that regard, because I won't just be some artist. It won't be like a gimmick. Like, I'm a comedian, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm doing this because I like it, I enjoy it, and it's, you know, something fun. So whether it's serious or silly,
right.
It's not a big deal. And people can just enjoy it.
And trap is in right now, and there's a huge element of comedy to that genre.
Yeah. Or like, even like if I make a hard, like say I make a hard rap song, like I want it to be like
DMX.
I don't think I'm really a gangster. I'm not, but like I just like, oh, these are the words that gangsters use. So
right, but
I made a song that was catchy
right.
and
It
gangsta.
sounds like that. But
Yeah.
It might not be that. If
like
you
I'm not
pay
actually
attention.
portraying this as things I do, but I was able to make a hard like gangsta song. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how I want it to be. Just it's just entertainment. Just entertainment with whatever way it comes out.
If it sounds good, it is good.
Almost like a character piece. Like
Right.
this is my gangsta like in the hood song that I made. Like I was almost even comedy is essentially is acting in a sense. It's a performance art.
Yeah.
And especially like as many times you have to like do a set or whatever, you need to be able to get in that zone and act it out. It needs to be fresh and for the audience every time. You know, the audience hasn't seen. You might have done it 100 times this bit, but the people in the audience, it's their first time seeing it, and you need to be able to project it like it's your first time telling it, like you're enjoying telling this story or, you know, this little segment or bit. But also, you know, doing the same thing with the music, like it's like character pieces, you know, like I'm doing this kind of character. This guy's gangsta in the song. This song is silly. I was in a silly ass mood one day and I made a song about, you know, just some ridiculous shit, you know, kind of like Donna Rollins with the I'm in love with the lotion, you know what I'm saying? Do something like that. So that's how I want the music to be. I want the music to just be like another branch. Just like, it's going to be some like real songs that like, hey, you might actually like the song and bump the song in your car, or like some silly songs that you just like, hey, listen to this silly song one time that this guy made. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So I've definitely got ideas of doing shit like that. I need to get a little setup going in my room to work out some ideas, even just bits, in recording bits, practicing them, and listening back to them.
Yeah, it helps.
Obviously, audience feedback is important for it as well. But even just listening to yourself, you're able to kind of you can see there's different when you're speaking and then you're listening to it and analyzing it. You're able to see things that you don't even notice in real time. Shit like that. But yeah, it's all shit that we can do with all the shit we got going on. Because I would like eventually like to put out. I want to be just multimedia. Just like we're just doing whatever is interesting us.
Yeah, I'd like to do books on tape.
Yeah, like it's just.
I don't know if I could put that out there, but like just for like I have a few nephews.
Like if you read The Hobbit, that shit would be fire. Like if somebody wanted to see,
like that's one of the things that I have planned actually. Like I want to do a lot of Dr. Seuss. Mm-hmm. I've got like infant nephews and young nephews. Yeah.
And something, and we could even eventually do like a video version almost.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it would almost be fun and silly to do like you do the audio version and then we like record acting it out like some low budget shit like for kids to look at. You know what I'm saying? So
I saw Peter Jackson was coming out. Oh, he's doing a Beatles documentary. Peter Jackson is with some unseen footage. So I'm looking forward to that. Because I love the Beatles and I think Peter Jackson does fine work.
He does. At least, especially with the Lord of the Rings. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, The Hobbit. Well, the thing with The Hobbit was, this is where you're going?
Yeah, you go. Yeah.
The thing with The Hobbit was that it was rushed, right? Guillermo del Toro was originally slated to write and direct The Hobbit.
Why didn't they go with Peter Jackson? Was he not originally wanting to do it?
He had prior obligations. He had other things going on.
So from the success from the first series, he was just, he's booked up, just
right.
got a lot of things going on.
So he recommended Guillermo del Toro. Guillermo del Toro signed on. He was doing it. And
I remember hearing about Guillermo del Toro And I remember being excited just because he does. Didn't he do like Pan's Labyrinth?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he does like the kind of like the darker. Like I was definitely
Right.
interested in seeing that.
I was like,
version
okay, it's
of
not
the
Peter
story.
Jackson, but if it could be anybody else, Guillermo del Toro is the guy.
It was definitely like I was intrigued to see his vision of how like it would definitely be a dark version and a raw version of
Right.
things. So that would have been super interesting.
Exactly. So what happened was he had some shit come up and he couldn't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So Peter Jackson had some. He took it upon himself to do it. And unlike the Lord of the Rings, they didn't have a year prior to do all the pre-production. They were pretty much coming up with it as they were filming it. And they had Andy Serkis doing Team B while Peter Jackson was doing Team A. So they were doing shoots at multiple locations
At the same time.
at the same time. And Andy Serkis he's a fucking man.
Mhm.
For those of you who don't know, he plays Gollum. He did King Kong. He's like the Neil Armstrong or Buzz Aldridge of motion capture. Yeah, like he laid it out there for how it's going to be and what it will become.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, for the Lord of the Rings movies, they developed a lot of technology for that.
Yeah.
They had to develop things to make it come out the way they wanted to.
The company started with a W. I forget the name of the company.
Talking about Wetaworks?
I think that's what it was.
I know they made all the armor and everything. They like all the weapons and shit. They were all like actually crafted, forged, steel, like shit. Like it was real ass.
Yeah,
shit. It was pretty
there
cool.
there were a lot of actors, but there was a lot of CGI as well, especially like on the big, like I'm thinking specifically of the Battle of Helm's Deep.
Ooh, yeah.
When they had the 10,000 Urukai and Orc fucking march on Helm's Deep against Rohan, and what an epic battle.
Yeah.
I love The Lord of the Rings. That's one of the things that I plan on reading, as well as The Hobbit, and I'm going to distribute that to my kin.
Okay.
And
But that's definitely
anyone
something.
interested, but
Yo, if it's actually good, we
it
do it
should
right.
be.
It could be definitely something that might get picked up, like by J.R.R. Tolkien or whatever.
That would be nice.
Like, what if you were able to start doing like official shit? They're like, hey, we like the way you did it. Now, how about we're gonna fly you out to our studios, our like $200,000 studios, and we're gonna do it again with professional, everything.
Yeah,
That would be wild.
that would be wild.
But I could easily see that happening. It's not something.
We'll see. I'd like to do, the Song of Ice and Fire series at one point. That might actually get me to read it.
Game of Thrones for the layman's.
Yeah. I would like to do the Dr. Seuss works, as I, talked about earlier. I'm a big fan of Seuss. And, if you have any suggestions, I want to do I Am Legend. I'd like to do 1984 An Animal Farm.
You gonna do movie version I Am Legend or book version?
Book version.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be dope, man. So yeah, I guess we are both like we're definitely seeing. We both have our passions, but it's like there's definitely extensions of those passions that.
Absolutely. I'm a performer.
Mm-hmm.
So whether that extends to comedy, music, theater, voice work, any of that kind of stuff, I'm into it.
Yeah, I feel it.
I did a lot of skits in school with a group of buddies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're definitely into that. Like, and I know for me, like I've been once I learned of the concept of like holding court, that concept. Holding court, like as far as like back in medieval times, kings, queens, like you had court was like the upper echelon social realm. But anyway, holding court would just be like, say we're at Jordan's house and everyone's like surrounded, and I'm like telling stories or whatever, and everyone's I'm holding court, and doing whatever entertainment.
I see.
But comedians talk about that a lot, like like the top guys when they're in the back all hanging out, and there's like those guys that are like holding court, like they're just everyone's tuned into whatever they're doing and saying. And I find that I see that even at work, like especially a lot of times, like I'm the type like the first 80% of work is like super serial, you know, getting shit done, and then I get a bunch of shit done. And then towards the end, especially right before I leave, then I'll just be holding court, and I'll be like almost doing like stand up bits, like in a bit, like in everybody's like kind of tuned in while I'm saying something, whatever. So I see it happening. I see it doing. I don't know where the fuck I was going with this point. It's starting to sound like I'm just bragging about myself.
Yeah, I haven't been taking notes here in a second.
But yeah, it's like it's something. That's where I was. It's something that I'm already naturally do. You know what I'm saying? It's something that I naturally do. So it's almost like finding a way to be able to find a living doing the things I already naturally do. That I love doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's not just strictly one thing. There's branches of that thing, but almost just entertainment. You know. So, I'm excited. I'm ramping things up, man.
Yeah.
I'm ramping things up like my whole life. Kind of ramping things up as far as health. Taking care of myself. Health. I'm getting old, man. All right, so I got a haircut the other day, right? Boom. But I had so I had let it go pretty long. It had been a while. I actually bought clippers and a mirror. I'm gonna start doing it myself. But I had let it get so long that it was so thick, like with the line of what's long. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to see it properly, and I'm gonna fuck this up because it's too long. It's too blending in too well. So let me go ahead and get a haircut, and then I can just maintain it a lot easier. So like I said, it was pretty long. So she's cutting the sides or whatever, and it's like dropping. You know how they got the little cape thing or whatever, and it's dropping, but it's in like longer clumps that I'm used to seeing, like bigger clumps. So I'm seeing the clumps drop, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, yo, there's hella fucking gray hairs in my shit, dog. I was like, yeah. Because I remember, like, before, it would just be like, oh, gray hair here, there, whatever. But I saw, like, each clump had several silver little fucking streaks.
Yeah, man.
I was like, no.
That's the stress of the 2000s right there.
Yeah. Kind of the reason why I'm leaving the job where I'm leaving. I just don't want that type of stress, especially when the stress is not really directly benefiting me.
It's not necessary, dude.
You know what I'm saying? Like that type of stress, if I owned that business, if I was a small business owner, then it would be a stress that would be worth it because I would getting directly all of the profits and rewards from this, not just whatever portion that somebody else decided they wanted for me. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that my wage is unfair or that I didn't agree to it or anything like that. But especially for what I want to try to do, like I want to do the comedy thing, and I'm like, I don't want that type of stress. That shit is like, it's sucking the energy out of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many days where by the time I get home, you know, I drive 50 minutes to work, 50 minutes back, work 9-hour shifts minimum. By the time I get home, that's like 10 and a half hours already. I'm tired, my feet hurt, and I've been stressed out all day with all just the bullshit. And then by the time, so I'm doing that now, I'm like, by the time I exercise and eat dinner, it's like, how much do I have left? I don't have anything left. Or at least I don't feel like I have anything left. I have been getting, now that I've been exercising more and eating better, I have been getting more energy and doing more. So that's another part, but it's still just like I just want to cut out that stress. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I could support myself financially. Not even like it's not that I want to work less. I'm fine with actually working more. It's not working, it's the stress that's getting me. You see what I'm saying? So I don't mind working more hours overall and still focusing on my passions. But it's just, this is just, ugh. You know what I'm saying? It's just not with the right headspace I need to be in.
Exactly.
And I'm depending on too many people who don't give a fuck. You see what I'm saying?
I see exactly what you're saying.
So that's my thing. I'm depending on too many people who just don't give a fuck. It's not a big deal. They don't care about their own ethic, their own work ethic, building habits that they can transfer on to the rest of their life, or just being that type of person. Like, I just want to be a good employee. It's not about me loving where I'm at.
Right.
It's that I love my own work ethic, and I'm going
to
express that.
You have pride in what you do. You have there's a sense of like representation of your family even.
And I'm not even saying I'm actually good at it. I can't even say if I'm actually good at my job or I did a great job.
I might not be good, but I'm doing my best.
Exactly, yeah.
And I do my best as often as I can.
Mm-hmm.
And to the best of my ability, you know. And that's just like, if I did anything less, I would feel guilty about it.
Mm-hmm. Like what I'm trying to do right now, honestly, I've got this car. I've got a good car that's good on gas. So what I really want is something part-time, like maybe 30 hours a week, like AT&T, something simple like that, 30 hours a week. You don't have to get up too early. You don't have to stay too late.
Mm-hmm.
So that's perfect for comedy type shit, because you're usually later evening, maybe stay up late, and you don't have to be up too early.
So let's talk about where you're going to go. What is your plan? You told me last week that, or maybe it was earlier this week, that you weren't planning on going to Florida.
I don't think I'm going to go to Florida. I don't want to go to Florida, actually. Let's just go ahead and start up not only lying to everyone else, but lying to myself. I don't want to make that move. I don't want to do it. It sounds nice.
It does.
And I've got influences from my mother wanting me to do it, but I don't want to do
Absolutely, yeah. I want to move back to Michigan, but right now that's not feasible for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a different thing I want to and you don't want to, but
yeah,
you know, shit doesn't happen for different reasons.
Mm-hmm. But I don't want to. But at the same time, I worry that what is influencing this decision? Is it fear that's influencing that?
Right.
I worry about that. I fear making the decision based off fear. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
So that's also something milling around in my head, but I don't want to, and I don't need to. Atlanta's for comedy. Atlanta's probably being near Atlanta is probably way better for me than moving to Florida, to be honest.
True.
So that part, at least it seems like, I don't know how much of it I'm basing it out of fear, but that part at least seems pretty logical.
That part does. Now, are you being diligent in your comedy efforts?
Not as diligent as I need to be, if we're being 100% honest. But that, when I said I'm ramping up, that's also things that are... One, I'm not trying to be too hard on myself. Like I've been before, and I've been so hard on myself that I stopped doing things because I'm like, well, you're not really doing this, so just quit. But I'm trying to have a better internal narrative. And I'm more like I think Jordan Peterson talks about this, which he has obviously a checkered persona, whatever you want to say about the whole situation. He's controversial, but anyway, his like self-help type things are definitely a repackaging of a lot of old things, but it's a good repackaging. But anyway, treating myself like someone I care about. So, you know, if I was someone I care about, what would I tell them? Hey, eat better, you know, exercise more, you know, this is your passion, work on it more. So I'm celebrating my successes, possibly, and also contemplating my failures and where I can do better, and I'm progressively getting better and better over time. So I'm just trying to stick with that upward trajectory, be happy with it, whether it's, people might consider it slow, but you know what? I'm on my own fucking path, and I know at the end of the day, I feel like I'm doing more than most people are doing. As far as I'm taking a chance. I put in my notice. I don't know what the future is going to hold. But I have a dream. You know, I know it sounds cliche and fucking lame, like, but I have a fucking dream.
But it doesn't sound lame to me because I'm in the same boat.
Yeah. You know, and I know, especially like with comedy, I know people are hearing it and be like, oh, this nigga. Oh, you're going to be a fucking comedian? Okay. Even though they know that I'm funny, but they're like, you know, a lot of people don't see it as a viable financial, you know, everybody's like, oh, how are you going to make money? How are you going to pay? You know, that's how everybody kind of filters everything through. They don't care about whether you're actually happy doing what you're doing or whatever. So I know everybody's kind of taking it as a joke, even though not necessarily fully as a joke, but, you know, kind of, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I already know that's a thing, which is kind of a thing that's motivating me too. But I'm trying to take everything and use that. Like, hey, I know it's lame to let that get to me a little bit, but if I can use that in a positive way, okay, let's use that. You know what? Let's do some extra exercising. Let's write. Let's do this. So I'm ramping up. I'm getting better and better every day. Not perfect by any means, but I'm happy.
So is your plan then to move to Atlanta?
That's something I'm working out right now. Luckily Atlanta's close enough or not too far enough away to where commuting is possible, especially
from a lot of different places. Yeah, right. A whole radius.
Mm. And so, even from Athens, it's like a little bit over, just a little bit over an hour. And so, like I went to Andrew Schultz, the comedy thing, and we were like, it's definitely something where I can go out there, do a couple sets, and then drive back and be fine. You know what I'm saying? It's not like driving 4 hours to do a couple sets and drive back 4 hours. You know, it's nothing crazy like that.
Right. And at some point, you would expect it to be that way.
Well, yeah. There's going to be a point where yes,
you can't just stay
that won't be the regular.
Right.
Like Atlanta's close enough to where I can make that drive regularly.
Right.
Especially I've got a good car. I take care of it. It's you know.
And there are also a lot of smaller towns that have. You know,
yeah, and we've got
well.
A good radius of like I don't know how much college work I'll be doing, but Athens has a little comedy scene. Yeah. I also interested in developing a comedy scene, like just being that guy as I get better and just keep doing it, encouraging other people to doing it, and you know pushing places to have more nights, you know pushing comedy as a thing. You know, right now comedy is just like. It's not a thing necessarily in Athens. You can do it in Athens. They have things, but it's not like it's. But not
it's a time where comedy is popular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I wouldn't mind. I would love to be a part of developing a scene. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, like punk rockers, kind of like you developed your scene in that city or whatever. Like you're a part of it. I would love to be part of developing the comedy scene. In any type of way, even if it was almost just in all of, say I suck at it and I do it in an administrative fashion, like I get things put together and I set it up and I maybe invest in a building, and you know shit like that. So I don't know. This is where I want to be in like kind of like you were saying, like you can open up a studio. Like there's so many things around in the periphery. Where you could still be involved in what you love, even if you're not necessarily the spotlight on you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty cool. And that's where that actually, that's twofold. I don't want to rely on that, but it's also kind of like something like that. It makes me feel more okay about doing what I'm doing because I know I can still find something financially viable within that realm.
Right. It's not just. You know, it's not just a lemon zester. It does other things.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So that's what's fun. That's what's fun about this whole thing. That's what's fun about doing this podcast when we have our talk shit moments or we have our reality moments. Because I would like these to be moments for our listeners, for it to be something to where, like, because I'm still growing. Like, I don't know if I'm a full grown adult yet. I don't know if anybody ever really truly is.
No. What I seem to be finding out as I grow older is that nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. And, you know, it's okay to just... Because everyone's making it up as they go. So if somebody thinks something is the way to do it, you know, and they look like they're doing all right, well, that could be one way to do it. Other people are doing something totally different, and they're making it too. So.
I feel like most people are just following the mold. Get a good job, good
You're
benefits,
doing what they know,
and then get some. Yeah, that's that's a proven success model. Like, hey, you do this, you'll get a nice house and a decent car, and hopefully your wife sucks your dick every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Like, as if that's the ultimate. But like, those are all superficial things. None of that is even considered your happiness.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So what we're doing are things that are personal, almost in a selfish way, but in a way like, if I'm happy, that's going to be way better for everyone who's involved in my life. I'm going to be a much better influence to them. You know, I might not be necessarily a negative influence if I just got a job and did all that, but I want to be a positive influence to the people that I'm involved with. Because then if these things work out, I am not only a worker. Obviously, I'm still going to be I'll probably do more work, but I'll be a job creator too. Right? Because as you scale up, you have to delegate tasks. So as you scale up musically, you might not have the time to do some of the social media shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're touring.
I barely have the time to do it now.
Yeah.
I'm
so you need someone to do the social media, and then you need someone to do photography, but I need you to be here all the time because I do so much, you know what I'm saying? I do so much shit. I can do photography, but if I'm doing, you know what I'm saying, it's just too much.
Exactly.
So as you scale up, you start creating jobs too. And that's pretty cool. I don't know. If I can not only create a job for someone that they can support their family with, that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
You know
what was that noise?
Like, you can support you can quit your job to do this job, because you know what I'm saying, that's pretty cool, especially if you can do it a couple times over. So that's a lot of but then I I like to get high a lot, and so sometimes I think way too big picture. I think of all the big picture things, and then less focus on what I need to be doing right now. Steps to get to the big picture.
I have trouble with big picture. I see small picture.
Mm-hmm.
I always look at like the immediate consequences of things.
Mm-hmm. I extrapolate immediately. Okay, I'm like, okay, so if we're gonna do this, then when this gets popular, we're gonna need this, and then once we get this, then we're gonna have to get one of these. You know,
right? But then you also compare that to what you're at now, so you're like, man, that's not tangible at this moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but that's not this moment either.
And I guess that's just more like I envision. But I don't see it necessarily as a bad thing. Like, I start seeing problems as they're going to arise. Like, oh, if this starts getting bigger, this is going to be a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I start really doing all these sets, then we will need, and you're doing the music, not only recording, performing, we're going to need somebody to do like the little stuff. Plus, because right now it's not financially viable, so we also still have to work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've got to work.
So as these things start ramping up, even before we necessarily become financially viable, we'll have a good product, and we're going to have to get somebody who believes in the product, and they have a talent that they're trying to go for as well. Like, similar situation, I got a job, but I'm a video editor, or, you know, I'm a photographer or whatever, to do certain things, or because you're just not going to have enough energy to do everything. Especially with us still having to work day jobs at this point. But before all that, we still got to work. We got to work on our crafts, our individual crafts, get better,
True.
Study, shit like that. But anyway, let's get off this topic. I'm getting preachy. I'm feeling preachy.
Yeah, man.
But I'm also feeling good.
What else is going on? Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good too. Do you know what time we're at? Did you do a timer today?
I set up my phone 2 times, but once again, as usual,
didn't do a timer.
Once again, as usual, didn't set the fucking timer because
you didn't do the goddamn timer.
But this is actually one of the few ones that I'm not really concerned. I'm fine with keep rolling, keep going. I'm good. What was I gonna say? I was about to go into something else. Oh, kind of relating back to when I was saying I hold in court.
Uh-huh.
There was this one girl at work. Anyway, she had reminded me of something. Anyway, I'm a comedian, right? But most people don't know comedians.
Right.
So I just riff and I say silly, wild shit. And it's almost like jokes for myself. But people will hear it, and since it's a joke for myself almost, I forget to say, just kidding, ha ha ha.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they're hearing it and then regurgitating it to other people, or like pondering it and coming back to it and saying it to me as if like it was something serious that I said, like something like, this is what I believe. This is part of my ethos as a human. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't even remember saying that shit. Like this one girl, I don't even remember what the conversation was we were talking about, but she had just like mentioned, like there's one time where I said like I was a minority my whole life, and she's like, yeah, and then I was telling my friend that I was talking to my friend about it, and we just didn't know what you were talking about when you said that. I was like, well, I don't know what I was talking about when I said that. I just said some shit. Like, yeah, I've been a minority my whole life, you know. So I was probably being ridiculous about something, or being sarcastic about something. But I don't always say just kidding, you know, or put a laugh in it. It might be a laugh in my head, or I might walk away laughing and you don't see the laugh as I'm snickering as I walk away. So that's the thing. But that's another thing that will be hopefully remedied by doing actual stand-up comedy more, doing the podcast more. He is just being silly. That's just who he is. He's saying wild shit just because it's funny, and it might only be funny to him, but that's all that matters to
Yeah.
You know, when I said it, there's times where I'll say some shit, crickets. I'm like, oh, that one didn't land. Whatever, that shit was funny as fuck. Whatever, fuck y'all. That shit was funny. You know, shit like that. So.
No, I feel you. I do the same thing at work, but there's at most there's 3 people at the desk, and I'll just say like some random ass shit. I'll just like, I've been pretty bored lately, so I'll just think, right? I just think at my desk, and my mind goes fucking crazy places. So I usually just say what I think, and it ends up being a lot of like random old advertising that I remember. Like, do you remember the Sponge Monkeys from Quiznos?
Sponge Monkeys from I don't think I remember that.
So Quiznos subs had this marketing campaign in the early 2000s where they had these like gerbils with Google eyes and like human mouths with bad teeth superimposed on them, and they did this song. It was like, eat Quiznos subs because they're good.
What?
They got a pepper bar.
Look, Sam can't even handle what's happening. He's like, what the fuck?
It's ridiculous.
That campaign sucks.
Look it up if you haven't seen it. Quiznos Sponge Monkeys is the easiest way to find it. And I don't know what the fuck it is, but I want a Quiznos for a week. And one of the supervisors that I work with set my desktop computer's background to the Sponge Monkeys from Quiznos. So.
Okay.
I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, that's just one of those things that it's always like old advertising, or I'll think about like Tamagotchis or some shit. You should think about things from childhood.
An advertisement that I always remember is an advertisement for this board game type thing called Crossfire. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Crossfire, don't get it.
You get caught up in the crossfire, crossfire, crossfire. And the commercial was like little 9-year-olds with greased hair and leather jackets playing this game, like shooting the marbles across the board and shit.
Nice.
But I remember the jingles, like, put the pieces into the slot, make the right connection, but be quick, you're racing the clock. Pop goes perfection. I remember all those fucking jingles. Dude.
Dang, you remember Sock'em Boppers?
Sock'em Boppers, Sock'em Boppers. More fun than a pillow fight. Dude, I remember all. It's like, it's disgusting.
My brothers and I would knock the fuck out of each other with those things.
Yo, it was an excuse to give little kids CTE.
Yeah, we were doing boxing matches.
Mm-hmm.
Like we got boxing gloves at some point, and we were just knocking the fuck out of each other. We did pillow fights. We did all sorts of shit, just aiming for the head.
Head only. Headshots only.
There were 4 of us. We just go crazy in the basement. Legos on the ground, fucking carpet here, fucking linoleum there. There's a pole that supports the house. Yeah. Look out, there's the bar.
Dude, you just hear the fucking reverberations through the house of somebody's skull.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Get out of here.
We had the fucking flat screen TV down there. We'd race home from school, try to catch Dragon Ball Z. I think it would be Digimon at like 3:30, and then we'd catch Dragon Ball Z at 4. Or no, Dragon Ball Z would be on. It'd be like 4:30 because I think Gundam would be on before that. It might have been on after. I didn't really watch Gundam.
Which Gundam? The one where the dude kept saying "Shining Finger."
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Where like each country had their own like Gundam.
I have no idea, man.
Dude, there's several Gundam series. There's a bunch of recent ones they made that are fucking good.
Nice.
A bunch of recent good ones. Iron Blooded Orphans is good. There's another one after that.
Wasn't that? It was like
That's
Gundam
good.
GT or something.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know. I think that was Shining Finger.
Yeah, it was on Toonami when that was real popular.
Yo, Toonami was the shit. Did you ever watch fuck, I just looked this up the other day. And it was a show where they were living in, it was kind of like, you remember Dot Hack?
Dot Hack.
Dot Hack sign?
No.
Like, so like they were basically
band Dot Hacker.
In the art, they were like, the show was based off it was a video game. But the show's perspective was from you logged into the video game.
Okay.
But it was known that it was a video game that you logged in and out of.
I see.
This one, Reboot. It was called Reboot.
Never heard of it in my life. Nope.
No. It's cheesy as fuck. But that was a Toonami show. The Dragon Ball stuff was on Toonami. And I remember
they would
watching
always
that
fucking
weekly.
reset the goddamn sagas. We get through Boo, and then it doesn't get to the end of Boo. Like in the middle of the Boo saga, it's like, okay, we're going back to Frieza. And it's like, you motherfuckers. Yep. So I probably picked it back up itself.
But I remember watching weekly. I remember watching Goku charge up for an entire month.
Oh, yeah.
Because like you would watch an episode, then for the rest of the week you would watch like the 4 episodes that led up to that. And then you'd watch the new episode, and then they'd redo the rest of the week in between. You watched the 4 episodes before. So you watched Goku charging up literally like 20 some times by the time you see him do.
There's so much dialogue, yeah.
I need more power.
Creatures of the earth, lend me your power.
Remember he was getting power from like planets and shit at the end. Like he's like sucking the whole universe.
From fucking dead people. He's getting power from like King Kai.
Oh man, that shit was funny as fuck.
Damn, I'm trying to get Kristen into it, but we've been watching Fairy Tail.
Have you been? Are you on Final Act?
No.
Once Final Act came out, I just watched Final Act.
No,
you're fine. You catch up on. There's enough context that fills in enough blanks, especially since you just want to finish the show anyway, because there's been so many story arcs. I was just ready to finish the show, so I was perfectly fine with just watching the Final Act. And the Final Act is like 50, 60 episodes too. It's not just like 12 episodes.
We're at the Tenru Tree where they're fighting the Dark Guild Grimoire Heart.
I feel like I've seen that. I watched a lot of it back in the day, and then I just fell off.
Ortiz and I don't know, fucking Blue Note and the master that was master before Makarov.
I'm pretty sure. So you guys still have a long way to go then.
Props, yeah.
In the regular series.
Yeah. It's better than Dexter.
I was doing ill earlier this week, and it was landing with some good responses. Just like, yeah, I'm about to go to Walmart. Ew. Ugh. You know, just ugh. Ew. On regular shit that's not actually disgusting, but just saying ew.
Walmart's a little disgusting.
Yeah. Or, you know, things like ew could be funny, or just telling people to shut up randomly is always funny. Like when somebody, especially when somebody thinks they're like, probably what we were doing earlier in the podcast, thinks they're being all preachy and profound, and you're just like, hey, shut up. Hey, what? Hey, that shit is always funny as fuck to me. I always die.
Yeah.
Oh, you remember when I told Kristen shut up the other night downtown?
Uh-uh.
We were downtown. We were downstairs at a Blue Sky, waiting for Colleen and them to come downstairs. We were standing outside waiting, and she was kind of doing like, just like, hey, we need to go here, just buzzing. I was like, yeah, shut up. She was like, did you just tell me to shut up? I was like, no, I was telling those other two girls to shut up. She's like, you just told me to shut up. She was like, buzzing. But she took it really well. She was a champ about it. It was funny. But it was just funny because it was like, and I thought about it, I was like, she probably hasn't heard shut up too often, huh? Just especially like just out of nowhere, just, shut up. Not like an angry, like, shut up. Like, shut up. It was just like, shut up. Those are the best ones. So it worked good. It was good that she handled it like a champ, too. And didn't get, like, super, like, really offended. Because then I would have had to laugh more in her face. And then it would have just been, it would have been bad. So that worked out pretty well. But,
Fucking
yeah, what
dogs
else
are
we got, man?
crazy.
Hmm?
Dogs are going nuts right now.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a while. They're like, hey, you guys been in here for a minute.
They're ready to go outside.
So what else?
Wild
Anything
out.
else you got? It's about time to wrap it up, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't know really off the top of my head. I'm buzzed pretty hard. Pip wants some attention,
I'm pretty
of course.
lit. What's up, nigga? What's up, nigga? I know. But yeah, I think that's good for this week. Let's go ahead and wrap it up on these bitches.
All right, man. Well, catch me at Old Devereaux on social media, Twitter and Instagram. Catch me at music.devereaux at Facebook. What you got?
I don't care.
Okay. Email us with any questions at Pelican Jack Podcast at gmail.com.
Yep.
We'll go through those. Yes, we will be your friend on YouTube. To the one person that asked us. So.
Oh yeah. I didn't know about that. I didn't know what to do with that actually.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, but sure. Yeah, we're your friend.
Maybe I don't know. I didn't that was my only thing. I was like, is this a? I didn't know is this a thing? I mean, I probably should have just Googled it. Are we just like kind of co-promoting? Like, hey, we'll be friends and kind of co-promote each other's channels a little bit. But they found us. I don't know. It was weird. I didn't know. I don't know. Maybe I should just talk to the motherfucker.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, we'll be your friend. But until then, we'll see you next time with some more bullshit. And later.
Adios. Peace.